Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I made this interactive kind of cube grid setup with using this laser MIDI controller, which allows me to get an input from 0 to 127, I think, based on how far you hold something from the controller. So to show you how it works, I can move my hand up and down above the controller, and you get this kind of both displacement, and I'm moving the field of view of the camera and some other things. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through how I made this network to achieve this specific effect. So first of all, I'm gonna move this down here. So first of all, we have a box here that's divided 13 times to get this kind of grid that we're basing everything on. And then I'm converting that into SOP data, so I can use it for instancing. Then I'm converting that SOP data to chop, and then we have the two different noises that are driving kind of all the movement in this setup. So first of all, we have the color, which is I'm taking the position data and inputting it into the noise coordinates, and then into the background image, but I'm only outputting noise, so you can't see this. It's just defining the resolution, keeping everything in the same size. But the important part is inputting the noise coordinates, which allows us to move through 3D in this way. As you can see, it's not just random, but there's actual like 3D patterns that are moving through the box in a way. Then we have a ramp here and a lookup just to pick what kind of colors we want. And then we get to the scale, which is kind of the same, but it's a monochrome texture now, and not like a colored one, to get the uniform scale of every box. We don't want it to be, because if I turn off monochrome on this, they're gonna have different lengths on different axes. Yeah, but we want every axis to be the same length, so that's why we keep it monochrome. But yeah, those are the two kind of defining parts of this network. Then we have just a position SOP here in the instancing, and yeah, that's how I define the position for the instancing part of this network. But getting to the fun part is the MIDI. So you can see here I have the MIDI in, which right now is sitting on 127. But if I move my hand on top of this and start moving it down, you can see the numbers start to decrease. And what I've done with that is, first of all, a lag, just to kind of blend between the different numbers, because I found that if you were moving like slowly between two numbers, it was a bit choppy when no, like when you don't have any integers or whatever. But now we have 4 different nulls here that are all connected to a map with a different like range. So first of all, we have the FOV of the camera, as you can see here. It's just moving it down to get that kind of zooming in look. And also we have the next one. We've bound a null to the transform of the instancing cube, which is the cube that's getting recreated X amount of times. I think, yeah, 2,744 times. Yeah, but because when we zoom in a bit, the boxes were a little bit too big to look interesting. So I have it set up to go from 1.2 in the uniform scale all the way down to 0.2 to get it a little bit more dynamic, and so the boxes weren't like totally in your face and just filling up the entire screen. And then we have the period of the scale noise, and that is kind of the, as you can see, it's quite a high period here, like the space between pixels, like, or different values, is pretty large, or at least you can see that in the final render. Like if the cubes are big here, they tend to be also big close to that one. Like, yeah, if I just place down a normal noise, it's easier to describe it. If I go up in period, it's going to be quite a large noise, and the further I go down, the kind of smaller it becomes. So yeah, I'm using that too, bound to the same distance input from the laser, to kind of just mix it up, get it looking a bit different when the more you zoom in. And then last of all is the post effect, which is the displacement. There's just after adding the bloom effect, I'm then inputting that into both the source and the displacement of a displaced node, which results in it being totally not displaced when I'm not using the controller. But the further down I go, the more displaced it gets. Yeah, and that's basically it. Then we have just a little bit of like VHS effect post-processing. Yeah, so that's basically it. It was a pretty fun setup to make. I can see here though that boxes are kind of clipping through each other, so I might have to just kind of see if I can pause it when they're at the point where they are clipping. Just like that. A little bit less. There we go. And as you can see, I've lined everything up perfectly so that there's a perfectly straight row going all the way into the middle. Yeah, and now they are not clipping together, which is nice. Yeah, there we go. So, as you can see in the here or in here, it doesn't really matter. You can see a little bit more what the cubes does outside of the camera movement. You can see that I'm messing with kind of the noise size, and also separate from that, the overall size of the cubes. And I mean, you could probably set up this to anything. Like if I take a math from here, and so I think actually minimum value is 0 and 127, and I set this up to be to 10, and then I just round this number, and then actually I'm gonna do it like 20. Yeah, we get a seamless kind of way to increase and decrease the amount of boxes. And since everything is based on this one, it's controlling the resolution of all of these. And I'm gonna set the minimum value to like 5 or something. Yeah, so super flexible, super fun to play with, and I think it's gonna be a great tool for a fun type of interactive installation. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening to this quick walkthrough of my most recent project. Hope you enjoyed it.